Good morning, everyone.
Hey, good morning.
Good.
Hello.
Hey, welcome, Kate. And hey, Josie.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Linda. Hi, Kate.
This is, thanks for hanging with us right now. We have a new start to SongBreak. So hopefully you saw that. I'm so used to hearing the music that plays, but I have to readjust my brain.
I was waiting for the music.
I know. I was like, should I hit that? Should I bring that in? We didn't say. In any event, happy Sunday, and thanks to folks who've already hopped on. That's great to see you. I see who's there. Welcome, Sharon, Emmy, Susan, and we're just thrilled to be back. We are really happy to be hearing from our guest coming to us from Nashville. And Kate Klim, Kate, I've been listening to your music. It's just fabulous.
Oh, thank you.
So I just want to start with a little intro about Kate, if you don't know her music. I think the Boston Herald said it best when they described you this way. Pianist, singer-songwriter Kate Klim is an angel-voiced balladeer and a best bet for pop folk stardom. And I couldn't agree more. Think they got that spot on. Kate just released a new album called Everything Green, which one reviewer referred to as an album of great depth and resonance, and another reviewer called it an album of hope with a brilliantly upbeat, light vocal approach. Kate also has a video with her title track of the album that is on the topic of controlled burns, and it's on Kate's homepage, and we'll be putting all that good stuff in the comments so people can see that. And I believe you've opened for some really fabulous artists, including Sean Colvin, Lucy Kaplansky, Richard Chindell, and you've played Club Passim several times and Nashville's Bluebird Cafe. That's just absolutely great. Kate has won the 2010 Kerrville New Folk Competition, and you've received the Emerging Artist placement at Falcon Ridge Folk Festival. You were a finalist in the Mountain Stage New Song Contest, and you have a host of other contest credits to your name. So kudos to you.
What a
Wow,
great
thanks.
resume, huh?
Absolutely.
It's fun when you read it all in a row like that. It makes me feel more successful than I do generally day to day.
Well,
You're a star.
we are here to tell you to own who you've become.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. And let's see, you have a background in songwriting. You majored in songwriting at Berkeley. And your life's path, it seems, took you from your start in Illinois to Pennsylvania to your current home in Nashville. You have, Everything Green is your fourth.
I'm going to correct you just real fast in case people
yeah.
Google me, which is it's Something Green. But
Oh, it's
this.
Something
Maybe
Green.
Everything Green could be the sequel. You know?
Ooh,
It's
there
like
you
something, but
go.
the Something Green. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No worries at all.
And Something Green follows your other albums. In 2006, Up and Down and Up Again, 2011, Kamikaze Love, and 2014, 100 Million Years. So before we get into learning and hearing all about your songwriting process and you sharing some of your music, we're going to open up, as we always do, with our three-way song swap.
Yay.
And I believe I'm kicking us off today.
Wait, before you go, Linda.
Yes. Yeah.
We have a comment
Yeah.
from, I guess, a friend of yours, Kate? Karen Balbo.
Karen Ballou, which is not her official name. That's her and her dog's name. Yeah,
I
she's
see
asking
that.
about my ghost song, apparently.
Yeah.
I can get to my ghost song when I talk
Okay,
about
good.
song process. That'll
All
be
right.
good.
Fabulous. So I am going to kick us off here with a song that I haven't done in a number of years, and it's a little zany song. I think most of you who know my music know that I'm on I slant toward the serious side, but this is a total departure called Truckload of Blues that I did record, and it was really fun to do. And it's all about knowing that you're in the relationship that is really not the best relationship for you. So you come up with all these zany reasons, though, for not leaving just yet. So that's what this is about, called Truckload of Blues. All right.
Will you build me up until you cut me down? And you build me up until you cut me down. Got me feeling like I'm all turned inside out. This merry-go-round, somebody stole the sign, left me to run aground. My head's a spinning, gonna take me to the lost and found. I got me a truckload of blues, and that's what I got, a truckload of blues. That's what I got. I'm gonna hitch a ride out of this jamboree. I won't waste my time, won't be your honeybee. But I'm stuck 'cause my feet, they walked out on me. Oh, I got me a truckload of blues, and that's what I got, a truckload of blues, and that's what I got. Sit straight up, and I might even fly. Gonna stir it all up, gonna rave bye-bye. But not before I'm done with my apple pie.
Thank you, Kate.
That was great. What a great way to start my morning. I'm an hour earlier than you here, so I'm just like, yeah.
I know.
Some Sunday morning blues. That's great.
All right, take it away.
I shall. All right, I'm going to play a song from the new album, and this is one I actually released a lyric video for yesterday. So I also decided, since I've been staring at the lyrics nonstop for a couple weeks, I am most likely to remember the words to this one, because it's been a minute since I played some music for humans. I was excited to do the lyric video too, because it gave me a chance to tell a little bit of the story of the song, which is there was a soldier named Hiro Onoda, a Japanese soldier for World War II, so, not our team, who was sent off to an island in the Pacific, and they said very clearly, hey, just one thing, don't surrender. Really. And then they forgot to tell him when the war ended. So he stayed there for 30 years. And at some point, people did try and tell him the war ended. The villagers who he'd been, terrorizing for decades were like, please stop. The war's over. And he's like, nice trick, guys. Not falling for it. They showed him pamphlets and headlines. Still didn't believe, dropped letters from his family. He thought they were fake. So eventually they had to track down the commander who had given the order. and send him there to finally relieve him. So this is a song about that. And then, of course, I couldn't truly relate to that story. So I'm like, how can I relate? And when I got to the chorus, I realized, oh, I can relate to the part where sometimes we get so attached to our job or the idea of who we think we are or what we're supposed to be, that we refuse to change, or we refuse to accept that that might not be our role anymore. So this is called Nobody Told You. Sent you off to the jungle, the Pacific. You said goodbye to your mom and you left. You thought you fought for the good guys. We always think that we're the good guys. Only order was to never give in. Nobody told you when the war was over. The war was over. No one told you for years. And all you know of who you are is a soldier. Well, if you're not a soldier, why are you here? Why are you here? For 30 years you kept up all your defenses. Lived every day like you were under attack. You were mean, you scared the villagers senseless, and you shot and you burned, and when they fought back, they tried to tell you that the war was over. The war was over, but you would not believe. And all you know of who you are is a soldier. Well, if you're not a soldier, what will you be? What will you be? Tried to tell you someone showed you the headlines. You took one look and you decided they were fake. They dropped you letters from the sky from your family, and when that didn't work, they wondered what would it take. Somebody tracked down your former commander, who was the owner of a bookstore. He'd retired in 58. They flew him down, he said he promised to come get me. He said, I'm getting you now, I'm just 30 years late. Nobody told you, but the war is over. The war is over, it's over and done, done, done. Nobody told you, but the war is over. The war is over. The war is over. The war is over, and the other guys won. Yay. Thanks, Josie. I'm excited to hear you. So, Josie, you gonna take it away?
Yeah.
Not before I jump in here and say, Kate, that just really got to me. And that last line, oh my God.
Yeah.
Aw.
And
Oh my
quite
God.
an overwhelming number of positive remarks. And for some reason, I'm locked out of answering people on the comments.
You
but
can from your phone, Josie.
from my phone.
I
Okay.
didn't know that before we made this switch.
But everyone loved this song.
Aw,
Yeah.
So many
thank you.
comments.
All right, I'm back.
All right,
Okay.
Josie.
Hi, everybody. I'm going to do an oldie but goodie. This is one of the first songs that I wrote. This is a song, I forgot what I called it, A Hole in My Life. And it's about a man, it was inspired by a man who has an estrangement from his adult son. The son was addicted to drugs and had some mental problems, and it was a very difficult road for him. And when I was doing open mics and I used to do this song, I would introduce it that way, and people would come up to me afterwards and say that they also were estranged from one of their adult children. So it's something that people can relate to, which surprised me. There's a hole in my life since you went away, a hole in the room where you used to stay. Must be a hole in my head, 'cause I would love you again if you ever came back to me one day. I don't need sympathy or anyone to understand me. If I had the opportunity, I'd walk through a door where everything could be exactly how it was before you left me. To those who live outside my head, looks like I landed in good stead. Surrounded by people who care for me. After all these years, I don't believe I am the only one of us who grieves. This is not trouble with acceptance. I believe my hope gives us a chance that the wind of change will reconnect us, and time will bring a new perspective. There's a hole in my life since you went away, a hole in the room where you used to stay. Must be a hole in my head, 'cause I would love you again if you ever came back to me one day. I would love you again if you ever came back to me one day.
Yeah. Hole in my life is just such a perfect line for that.
Thank you.
Absolutely, Josie. That song is just stunning.
Thank you.
And
I
it-
appreciate that.
Yeah, it really is. So we are going to shift our focus to our featured guest, Kate Klim. So, Kate, how old were you when you started writing music?
Yeah, it's funny. I'm one of 5 kids, which probably has a lot to do with everything. But I think there was something about, like, how am I going to set myself apart here? Because I'm the middle child. So, I mean, as soon as I could talk, and of truly creating songs. I mean, we have little cassette recordings when I was 4 years old, making up songs about, like, stuffed animals, you know, kids in the neighborhood. There's one surviving cassette that I had transferred to CD, which is just like one of my most prized possessions. So about 4 years old, and then by the time I was maybe 5 or 6, we had a neighbor getting rid of a piano that literally they gave us for free, and they wheeled it down the street and up into our house, and that kind of sat front and center right there in the living room. You had to walk by it to kind of go anywhere. And of all of us kids, I was the one who would always walk by and tinker.
Tinker?
You know, I can remember the very first song I wrote was it was just like an arpeggio song, but I was maybe 5 or 6 when I started doing the piano stuff. But then by the time I was in 2nd or 3rd grade, my parents signed me up for piano lessons, and then the little songs I've been making up and my piano thing started to kind of come together.
Wow.
That's
The
great.
middle of 5?
Yeah.
That's double middle.
Yeah, and it's like very symmetrical, which is pleasing to me, because it's older sister, older brother, younger brother.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Were you aware of trying to set yourself apart in the family?
You know, that's just a working theory I have as an adult. I have no idea. I was aware of like when snack time was and if someone was physically pushing me at that moment.
Right.
But yeah, I'm sure that was a way to have a voice. I think maybe there was always just this creative side of me that had something to say too, which probably had more to do with it than the attention. It became a very easy way, and still is. If I want to express my feelings to another human, I will do far better spending 2 weeks and writing a song about it than I will sitting down and trying to come up with the words. So I think it became a communication tool for me.
And it is a communication tool, absolutely. And a very efficient one, I think.
Right?
Right? Yeah. And do you find living in Nashville, being a songwriter, are you set apart because you play piano?
I mean, there's a few of us, not maybe like 2-3% of us are piano players, and I made that statistic up completely, so please no one ever repeat it. But not a lot, right? I'm usually going to be the only one, you know, in a writer's round for sure. An open mic, maybe there's 2 of us, but because of the sheer numbers of songwriters here, 2% of like thousands of songwriters means there's you know, a critical number of us. I think logistically it sets me apart because it always takes a little more stage space, and it always takes a little more literal heavy lifting to get on the stage.
Right.
But then of course I think the piano expressively sounds so different, and sometimes I'm jealous of the way that guitar can convey emotion, and then I come back to piano and then I'm really pleased with the way that piano can convey it totally differently.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
the songs, how do they come to you? Is there a typical way?
Yeah. There's some parts that are typical. There's like a few different combinations of things that happen. I'm really curious what it is for you. For me, the common question I get is, what comes first, lyrics or melody, right? For me, they come at the same time. And that's across the board. Only once have I written like lyrics first and set a melody to it. And it was a co-write with an amazing songwriter named Raina Rose, if you know her. And so we tried her method, or one of her methods, and she's like, let's write all the lyrics and put it to music. And that's the only time in my life I've ever done that. And then maybe sometimes I've had melodies. No, I can't even name a time I've had a melody and then came up with words. So usually I sit at the piano and there are these ideas that have been in my head of just things that are happening in my life, discussions I've had with friends where we got really into something about our relationships or the world, and I sit down and I usually just start playing some kind of piano pattern, like the one I'm going to play later was. So I just do that, and I just keep looping that, and I just start to sing, and it's words and melody.
Right.
And I don't know what the words are going to be, but usually they're related to like a deep experience I'm having in my life right then, or a kind of conversation I had. I really think in metaphors across the board. So sometimes I'll be like, oh man, that's a great metaphor. So for Something Green, I remember it was the beginning stages, end stages of my marriage, beginning stages of my divorce. And I was just thinking about controlled burns, how sometimes things get they burn down, like the section of forest, either to keep it from spreading or to try and promote new growth underneath. And I was like, oh yeah, that hurts real good. So I'd been carrying that metaphor around, and it just kind of popped out there.
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, it's fabulous. And just watching the video, you know, I mean, it's both educational, you know, for people who don't know, and just the way that you created that, and the black and white, and then, you know, color emerged, and it was
caught that detail. That means a lot to me. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it was fabulous. I really do want to encourage everyone to go watch that video. It really is fabulous. And you've got it right there on your homepage. So, we're talking about your songwriting process. So you're saying that things sort of gel for you together, lyrics and the music. Do you find that songs sort of like, you know, nag at you and you can't, once you're into it, you can't put it away and work on something else, or, you know, can you tuck it away and come back to it? What's that kind of process like for you?
A little of both. Most songs, so I get that initial idea, right? I sit down, something spills out, and then I have to craft a song around it. So the whole song doesn't spill out stream of consciousness. Usually it's like something in the chorus or maybe sometimes the first line. And then I build a song around it. Sometimes those do spill out and I can't solve it. I can't figure out where to go. There's like this little 5 seconds of a song I'm so attached to. And a few times in my life that's happened and I've just kept it. I try and write it down because you get enough of these, you're just going to, there's probably song ideas that are lost. I mean, I'm sure there are song ideas lost forever. I try and write it down or record it in voice memos. So there are a few that I've had to circle back. I'll try and think of, I know that on a few albums ago, there was a song called Why It's Blue. And that one came back like years later. For this album, a lot of them, because I was going through such an emotional time in life and they were so therapeutic, there would be such momentum and it was such a therapeutic exercise that song would be done within a few days. Because if I'm really excited about it, and you guys probably know this too, I'll be like trying to fall asleep and then I like hop out of bed and I run to the piano because I just have maybe an idea for a verse. So a lot of times they are like boom, 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 done.
Yep.
I think it's word choice that keeps me awake.
Oh, when you get stuck on one word.
Like you have a word, like a placeholder word, but you know it's not the right word.
Yep.
And then one day it just occurs to you. Yeah.
For those ones, I'm in some songwriting groups. There's a song salon in East Nashville, which I hadn't gone to for a long time, and I finally just went to one again. Man, is that a great place to bring songs where you're stuck on a little section. Like you believe in the song, but something's not quite right. So that's where the peer groups or just playing it for friends is so valuable to me.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, so tell us about your latest album and that process and how that, how that was for you.
Yeah, oh man. It was so important and the timing ended up being so perfect to have this outlet to pour all my life change into. When I committed to making it, I was out for tacos with my friend Andrew, and I had not been actively making music. I just had 2 young kids. They were born 20 months apart. So I found out I was pregnant with my second before my first was even 1. So in my life, that left 0 like creative energy, 0 time. But I was at out for tacos with friends, and I was like, man, how about I just like loosely commit to making an album, and then I'll feel just like you loosely commit to going to the gym, like you put it in your schedule for 2 months from now, or like, I'm like, I'm going to loosely commit so I can trick myself into feeling like I'm still a musician. But the thing is, my friend Andrew, who I loosely committed to producing it, he followed up like weekly. It was amazing. So even though I had thought I wasn't really making an album, he's like, we're making an album. And I hadn't written a song in, I went a full year without completing a song for the first time since I was 4 years old. Again, because just like kids and then, life. So he started nudging me to write, hey, what have you written? And that just very slowly got that process started. It just felt like it was kind of turning the faucet. See, I told you, I think in metaphors. So there was the process of writing the songs, and then the process of making it was amazing because I took these songs. I didn't even have 10 when I showed up. He's like, well, you'll come up with something. We had a plan for maybe a cover song. But he secretly thought I was going to write while we were in the studio for the week. And I'm like, I don't do that. Like, I've seen videos where, like, Sarah Bareilles was like, I just came up with a song and we're recording it. And I'm like, I hate you. But I love her. She's amazing. I was just jealous. But I did. I actually did finish a song the week in the studio. And I wrote a song the week in the studio called Lines, based on a recurring musical theater dream / tornado event that happened. So then you can see how that comes together. But so the process was it was magic. I got to make music with other people joining in, which that kind of connection is, you can't feel it elsewhere in life. At least I can't. Maybe if I played professional sports or something. So that was magical. But then that was March 5th, 2020, that I flew home from recording our studio sessions, and I only had scratch vocals and scratch pianos. So clearly everybody's plans changed. I ended up recording my part of the album at home, just in this room, on this piano, on this mic, slowly. It took like me a year to get my part done. Part of it because it hurt a lot, but that was important for me to keep going to. But then, but there was something about me just coming up here sometimes at 9 o'clock at night, and it would have been like a hell of a day, and putting down the vocal for a song. But I don't know. I think it's why the album feels the way it does.
Mm-hmm. Do you work more at night than in the morning?
Yeah, that's why I'm drinking coffee. I literally have a container of oatmeal over here. I'm not a morning person. like furiously snacking before we started. I do. The kids have changed my schedule, so I never would have dreamed of waking up at 6:30, in my 20s, and I do that pretty regularly now. I should say this. I write more music at night. There's something about mood lighting that's very important to me. So if I have like a lamp on dim and an open keyboard, that to me is when the creativity is going to happen. And also maybe because, again, those thoughts that have been occurring to me throughout the day come back. But in the morning, I religiously do morning pages. If you've done The Artist's Way, you're supposed to write 3 pages by hand of whatever. It's stream of consciousness. It is not profound most of the time. It is like profound 1% of the time. And then it's just a download of what's in my brain, even things I have to do. I do that every morning. And when I don't do it, my whole day is off. So that's a morning thing that's important.
Well, you're to be commended for having the discipline to do that.
Do those result in songs ever?
Sometimes those things I say where like an idea comes to me and it just kind of putters around, those often come out on the morning pages. I'll just be writing through what I'm feeling, and then I'm trying to think of one recently. One was like the term negative space, where I was just thinking, why do I keep trying to fill like the negative space in my life? I'm just so uncomfortable with this blank page. I'm so uncomfortable with like the empty role of partner that I'm just like, gotta feel that, So that was one that turned into a song I co-wrote with someone. So yeah, sometimes they turn into songs.
And I think I heard you say that the melodies come to you when you're sitting at the piano?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There's something... Yeah, I don't even know what happens there. Sometimes I call it like the magic feeling, which you think as somebody who considers herself a wordsmith, I could do better than the magic feeling. But yeah, those seem to spill out.
Yeah.
Do
the melodies ever just come to you in your head and then you put them on the piano?
Every once in a while, if I'm driving, which,
Right.
I was reading some book talking about how there's an actual brain thing that happens that allows you to be more creative when you're doing some kind of repetitive task that takes part of your brain process. So sometimes things do happen driving. A lot of times I work on songs where I already got the start of a melody when I'm driving. But every once in a while, a brand new idea. But I will say, I can hear the piano chords in my head. So I know to that melody, like, maybe I don't know what the piano part sounds like pattern-wise, but I know if it's like a G minor. Well, I wouldn't say G minor, a 6 minor chord. I know the relative sound of it.
Well, you are a Berkeley graduate, so we would
I
expect
do not
that.
have perfect pitch, so that's how I would not know the exact chord.
So shifting a little bit to your performances that you've done, do you have a favorite stage that you've played, or tell us about your performance experiences?
Yeah. Oh, I hands down have a favorite stage. It's Club Passim in Boston, and it's
all you
just magic.
Boston folks, we just had Christine Lavin on last month or a couple of weeks ago, and she also was saying
amazing.
Club Passim, absolutely.
It's just
And Rick Allendorf, too, said that.
Yeah. I mean, it's such an amazing space. I think to me, I don't know about you guys. I am a nervous performer. I am not somebody who can just get up here and be like, I'm totally comfortable. Oh no, I am terrified most of the time. Passim is the stage where I feel like I grew up on. So I think I went to my first Passim open mic my freshman year of college. So I would have been a teenager. I was 18 years old. And I did the open mics. And it's a beautiful club where they actually help nurture and cultivate artists. So that was not great when I was 18. I was clearly not terrible because it was enough for them to give me more opportunities. But then they gave me like a small opener and then a more prominent opener. And when I opened for Sean Colvin, she was doing like a special, very intimate show there. And they gave me that opportunity. So they truly gave me so many opportunities to work my way up to like headlining that club. And then circling back to the fact that I'm a nervous performer, because it's the stage where I did evolve as a performer, it is the closest thing I can feel to coming home on a stage.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow. Is that common for venues to nurture people that way?
No, especially not anymore. Now it's, hey, how many people can you bring?
Exactly.
And if you'd ask me how many people I could bring to the club at 18 doing an open mic, I'd be like, I've got 5 solid friends who might show up.
Right.
I think they ask you that even if you're playing a car wash. I mean,
exactly.
Seriously.
But, I think times have really changed, and it really is so frustrating to so many of us, where a place really wants to have you, but for their business,
They have to pay their bills.
I
Get it.
understand. Yeah, I get it too. But it really, where do we go?
Mm-hmm.
For a live event of original music, and it doesn't matter who we bring in or how many. But
Yeah.
I guess they're still out there. But Josie, you were going to say.
Well, no, I don't even remember. The thoughts just go in and out. But
I relate.
I guess I want to, because, time is moving on, I want to skip to, I think, what is the most important question that we ask, which is, tell us in general what kind of advice you give to songwriters who might be starting out, or maybe not even starting out, but what is your important advice that you give to songwriters?
Ooh, that's good. I mean, the morning pages I mentioned are critical. If I had to give one piece of advice, it would be do that. Like, write down your 3 pages every morning, because for some reason that just seems to, it's from The Artist's Way, which is a book about being creatively unblocked. And even the book says, like, that is the part that seems to have the most impact, because you just start to get the thoughts flowing. So that would be it. And then the other, it's a quick one, would be passing on a piece of advice I was given. I was frustrated because I'd been, like, going back and forth with a publisher here in Nashville, and it was implied I was going to get a publishing deal, and then I didn't get a publishing deal. And I was opening for Chris Trapper, if you know him, who's a great songwriter. And we, like, went out to a bar afterwards for a drink. And I was complaining. I said, I just want to write music. And what I meant was, I just want to write music, like, as my job for a publisher. But he said to me, he's like, so write music. So, like, forget about it, whether it's for a publishing deal, even maybe forget about if it's for an album or an audience, and just sit down and write. Like, and to me, that was like, oh, that is the most important thing to me. Like, if I had to do, for the rest of my life, I could write music and I couldn't perform it for somebody and I couldn't record it, I wouldn't be thrilled about that. I do want to record it and release it, and there's something beautiful about connecting to people through it. But if I did just have to sit at a piano and write songs that only I heard, I would still want that. That's still the most important part.
That's still part of you, absolutely, and holding, that truth for yourself. So on that note, would you like to share another one of your songs? We love that.
I would love to, yeah. Should I start this one? Are we doing?
We're not doing another round. This is you.
Oh. Well, I'm, like, a little disappointed, but I'll stalk you on the internet to hear more of your music. All right.
Oh, how sweet. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm going to do this one, which is, it's new. No one's heard it outside my songwriting group and my boyfriend. So this is one that came the way I said. I started playing this pattern, and the thought that had been in my head, and I'd been having this conversation a lot with friends and people, was, man, we get one lifetime. I just, somebody had hurt me a lot, and I just said, I can't hang on to this anger. Like, it doesn't serve the purpose of this very finite life. So I just kept coming back to that idea of, like, we got one lifetime. I'm not going to spend it mad. And this is what happened. You're no different than a schoolyard bully looking back. Those kids, they always look so lonely. You told me once nobody's known you fully. I could tell by your eyes that it was true. You get scared and then you swing out wildly. Just act sure enough, nobody looks too closely. You hurt me more than anyone's ever hurt me, but I'm just sad for you. We just get one lifetime. Why would I spend mine angry? We just get one lifetime. I'd rather spend mine living. We just get one lifetime, one lifetime. That's why I'm forgiving you. You left boxes there, still in my basement, full of swords and arrows vows you kept, just in case you said the war was coming. You were always bracing eyes, were always narrowed pulse, was always racing. We just get one lifetime. Why spend it chasing shadows? We just get one lifetime. I'd rather lean into the light. We just get one lifetime, one lifetime. That's why I'm not gonna join you in the fight. And I've learned to turn in the direction of the wind, or to meet you at the doorway, but to never let you in. I've got no hatred in my heart, but there are ashes where you've been, where you've been, where you've been. We just get one lifetime. Why would I spend mine angry? We just get one lifetime. I'd rather spend mine living. We just get one lifetime, one lifetime. That's why I'm forgiving you.
That was
Thanks,
just
guys.
beautiful, Kate.
Oh,
And what
gorgeous.
a fabulous sentiment to share in a song that is just so relatable to every single person who walks this planet.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. And your voice is so special too.
Aw.
And of course, your piano playing is beautiful. I love the
I
way
love you guys.
I love the way.
Record this and play it in my phone when I'm down. Yeah.
I love the way you pick up bass lines with the piano, and it's just gorgeous.
We actually had Peter Hansen, who's here. He actually actually said, "Love the focus on the third in the melody." So just so you know, Peter's one of our music guys.
I love music theory people. Hello.
He just retired from teaching.
Because the
so
melody jumps down in thirds. And it's a little sequence there.
there you go. But
Excellent.
Peter also wanted to know, before we go to our lightning round,
Yeah.
Peter wanted to know whether you find that you can force yourself to write. Is that something that is
Ooh.
true for you?
Yes and no. What I found is I used to have, I'm jealous of my 20-year-old self. I used to have lots of time. I've got limited time now, so I have to
Yeah.
schedule blocks of time. And I have to schedule blocks of time where almost I'm like, you do nothing, Kate. Do nothing for a while. I have to force myself to do that. And sometimes it results in music. Sometimes it results in a step toward music for next time. But I definitely have to force that and expect that not every time it's going to be, the magic.
Yeah, well, I will let you obviously read all the comments that are coming in.
Aw, thanks.
Fast and Furious here, so all
man.
about that last song. But we are going to jump to our closing section here, which is SongBreak Staccato. And I will kick this off.
Okay.
So here we go. We already know this, so I'm going to start with the second here. What was the first concert that you attended, and at what age?
You're going to steal my identity now. Lollapalooza when I was 12. And it was Smashing Pumpkins, Beastie Boys, Breeders, Nick Cave. Courtney Love came out and then was really awkward in front of everybody. It was amazing.
Love it.
What is your favorite food?
Oh, I cannot choose. I'm going to say my go-to Postmates order is Indian food. My favorite combination of foods is chocolate and peanut butter.
Oh, fabulous,
Wow.
fabulous. What was the first album that you purchased?
Live Throwing Copper. I was in 8th grade. It was a CD. And I was stand by that 90s music. That is an amazing album that I still revisit once a year. And we should all go listen to it today and clean our houses.
How do you listen to music? Is it streaming? Is it CDs? What do you do?
Yeah, I mean, now it's streaming, or sometimes even my little brother sends me YouTube links to people I haven't heard, and he just knows what weird song I'm gonna like. So yeah, kind of whatever platform. I think I pay for Apple Music so I can listen to whatever I want. So I mean, I understand that not a ton of money. I very much understand not a ton of money gets to the artist from that, but that's my one.
So are you an animal person? And if so, dog or cat or other?
I'm not. I'm like a tolerant animal person who will like feed my friends animals semi-reluctantly.
Do you have a favorite movie?
Oh man. You know, I have trouble with favorites, which is why I was so nervous for this round in particular. I'm like, I don't have a favorite anything. I usually answer with 12 Monkeys. I just love that movie. Or Twin Peaks, which was a show, not a movie, but that was my favorite. Yeah, visual medium thing.
And when you're sitting listening to music, what genre music do you gravitate toward to fill your house when you're doing stuff?
I've created my own genre called Songs That Kick Me in the Heart, which is my Spotify playlist that I put all the songs. I love songs that hurt so deep and so well. Yeah.
Do you like performing solo or duo or in a group?
I've just, by default, because of logistics and budgets, always. So there is something beautiful about playing with a band that I love. It adds additional stress because I really got to play in time.
Yeah.
So I do it irregular. I mean, it's been a decade. So I love it, and I loved it for the album. But I'd say solo is my comfort zone.
I'm looking at Peter. I'm looking at your comments here. You're just, I'm cracking up on the
Peter,
side.
I do own a fish. It has a horrible life, that poor fish. And it's not for lack of effort. I'm actually trying, but yeah, there's an algae situation. Peter, if you know anything about fish, message me.
And what are your hobbies other than music? Well, music's not a hobby. It is, your artistry.
I love all things creative. So just like weird, crafty projects, which I can really get into with my kids. I really like writing, and I'm not going to call myself a poet because I've written 3 poems, but I really enjoy poetry. I've been reading it, and I think that's my next hobby to get into, and writing kind of prose and things like that.
Okay, so before we end, we have
Fabulous.
to hear about the Ghost song.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I forgot. Thank you. I get in the zone. So the Ghost song, similar process to what I said earlier. I am also in a songwriting group that gives you prompts. You got to do a song a month. I did one that was a song a week a year and a half ago, which was intense but great. And when I have a prompt to a song, it's usually an idea, feeling already swirling, plus the prompt equals a song. The prompt helps like unlock an idea I already had. The prompt was Ghost. And I sat down and I even wrote a chorus, and I'll find the video and share it. And I'll play it again a lot around Halloween. But it was just about a ghost, and I'm like, wow, where did I go with this? I like the sound of it. And then I remembered I'd gone on a ghost tour in a haunted hotel in Chattanooga the year before, where they told the story of this woman who was essentially murdered by her husband in the hotel room, but they were telling it in a spooky way that I've left, and I felt guilty for having been part of that tour when he's like, and he found her at home knocking boots, if you know what I mean. I'm like, no, he found her, he came back to the hotel and found her and he murdered her. Let's not glorify it. So I wrote a feminist ghost song, and it's just about telling the story from her side. So yeah, I have a feminist ghost song, as it turns out, because I went on a hotel tour.
And you can share that?
Yeah, I'll post it
Okay.
on my Facebook page after this. I'll
Great.
find it. It's a real
Great.
rough video I did last year just for the songwriting group. But yeah, no, I'll definitely post it.
Oh, that's great. I want to watch that. Okay, well, we've come to the end of this month's SongBreak, and thank you so much for
Thank you.
joining
This
us.
was a blast. Yeah.
It was great to hear you and great to hear about your process, and we hope you'll come back at some point.
Would love to. Would love to.
I love having these personal concerts. You know,
Yeah.
we to have someone of your success come
Yep.
here and sing to me and Linda. I mean,
I love
aside
getting
from
to
all
hear
the other
you, too.
people.
I love
But we
song
love
circles,
this.
Yeah.
We love this.
And we love that, people are tuned in here, and we know that folks will catch up with the replay because it'll be on Facebook. And we tried something new today, which was streaming from our profile pages. So we'll see how that goes. And thanks, everyone, for joining us. And we will be back, looking at my cheat sheet here, September 18th with Jillian Matundan from the D.C. area.
Awesome.
And until then, be safe, and we will see you next time. And
Bye, Kate.
Kate, keep
Thank
writing, and we're all
You
going
as
to
well.
thank you.
Continued
Thanks.
success to you.
Aw, thank you.
Take care, everybody. Bye,
Bye.
Linda.
Bye.